Hello all, very good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, sorry for the delay. Actually, till Monday, you might see little delay in my joining, but after that, I will streamline it. Sorry for that. Uh, just it's taking some time to close another call. Right. Uh, yeah, any questions anyone has from previous sessions? Anything you want me to quickly cover before I start today's plan?
I think we discussed this in details, performance, load and stress, like step by step when you reach performance, when you reach the load, and then when how you stress and break, and then measure
No,
the
that we
value of
didn't.
the
We didn't.
system
We didn't.
capacity.
We will go that
Okay,
when we go to execution.
okay.
Okay. When we see execution, that time we'll see different types of load tests and all.
And CDN also we have to discuss, right?
Yes, yes, yeah. All those will. All those. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Vishnu,
Now we are
specific.
we are just focusing on scripting few things. Okay, I thought which will get you started. If someone is there who wants to start scripting and want to quickly get into some applications and all, so they can uh, get it going. So that was my focus now. But we will come back when we go to execution, these architectural concepts. And today I will be actually discussing on something called this SSL, okay, encryption, decryption, which is also very important for us to know. Yeah. Oh, someone was asking some question.
Yeah, this is Srikant, Vishnu.
Yes,
So
Rekha.
yesterday you were going through these user variables, right?
Yeah.
I was just practicing last evening. There are like two or three options in user variables,
Ah,
like those options. So can you just go over those two or three options? Of course, I chose the CSV extract from CSV file option. It actually worked. But there
mm.
are a couple more options also with the same like naming terminology. So I
Okay,
was
okay, like
originally a
same.
little confused and then I went back to the videos and referred. So
Ah, yeah. I'm sharing my screen. Give me a moment. Just a moment.
Uh,
So, how many of you are aware about what's an API and all? APIs, everyone is totally new, no? Is there anyone who has already worked on APIs? Just
Yes.
raise your hands. Yeah.
Worked in new load. Vishnu.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, few of you, but that's fine. We will be seeing it from anyways from scratch, so that everyone is like benefited out of, because these APIs are very critical. We need to understand. Yeah, no issues. We'll be going in depth. Okay, in that. Yeah. So coming to that script, let me open the script. My screen is visible, all right? No, not yet.
No.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. I have one doubt.
Ah, yeah. Go ahead, Muslinka.
Yeah, actually, I tried yesterday whatever you did, CSV file.
Yeah.
So how we can judge every time, like username, password? Here we got that are variable.
Ah,
So even I have not did email, but that save account is working.
yeah.
So how we can judge that dynamic variable? It is like changing like username. We have to give different every time and email.
Yeah, so you have to compare the responses, right? That we will see. Okay, when we go to dynamic variables, we'll see. Okay, soon we will jump into correlation. That time I will show you. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Now we are seeing parameterization, so focus on that. When we go to correlation, we will speak about this dynamic variables, values, and all. Okay.
A question like the drive that you showed with the instructions and stuff. Um, how can we access that?
You would have already got the link, no, from Anita.
No, no. I also mentioned in the group, but I
Uh,
didn't get any response.
wait a minute. I am putting right away.
Yeah.
In the description, it is not there. Maybe she would have. Actually, team does that. They have the link. I'm just putting. Please share the documents with. Yeah, I put to Anita. Okay, she will take care. She'll put it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for informing. Okay, right. So, just a moment. Yeah. Okay. So, Srikant, over to you. What was the option you were speaking about?
So the variables, right? User variables. Yes, I have added the CSV dataset config, but
Mhm.
in general, when you go right click on th thread group, there are also a few data variables elements.
Where?
Um, so I think in the preprocessor, yeah, this one user defined variables at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so that one versus the CSV data config file, I was a little confused. Okay, what is the difference? Originally, I chose that user
Okay.
defined variable. So,
Okay. Yeah. So see, for example, if I add a user defined variable, see here you are able to pass only one value, no,
okay,
for a
okay,
variable, right? But in CSV, you are able to pass multiple values for that variable.
okay. So basically, one on the same, but of course, CSV will give us like bulk
Correct.
data
Right.
access.
Yeah.
Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense.
And also, see, don't go with CSV always. CSV actually, I mean, like, only use where you want to use bulk data. Otherwise, go with this user defined variable only because it's easy to update and all.
Right. And if it is CSV, again, we have to put it on the LGs also, right? If we are running them using the load
Very
generators.
good. Yeah, very good. So yeah, when we go to distributed testing now, and I'll be explaining you that time I will show you. So it's very critical. Yes, you have to put that files in the LGs. Yes. Any other
You know,
questions?
one more, in if you see in the current page, top is a registration and below thread group,
Ah.
so whatever we are adding variables under thread group or in top that registration,
See, registration is just a test plan. Okay. That will be there in all your scripts. It's like a standard thing which Jmeter starts with. Okay. Thread group is
Yes,
where
yes.
actually your real request will sit under thread group. Okay.
Okay.
And whatever you put outside thread group between this test plan will be applicable to all the requests that you have under thread group.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See, there are some things which we need to know with respect to test plan also, like this run threads group consecutively, run tiered round, functional test mode. So this we will see, okay? Because why I am not explaining these things now is we are seeing scripting now, okay? We haven't gone to execution. When we go to execution, that time we will speak about this. Then thread group, there are various settings, what this sampler is, controller in detail we will see in testing, execution, and also, when we go to execution, that time we will see different types of tests, right? Performance tests that we perform, and test plan, right? A workload model. Then soon we will be reaching a little slow, right? Think time pacing. All those things will come. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then let's proceed with today's plan. Uh, right. So we have registered the users. We are able to register the users, and we saw how to use a CSV dataset config for registering a user. Okay. So one thing we need to understand. See, now next we will try to. Oh, sorry. Ashish, you had some question. I see you raised your hand.
No, no.
Okay. Yeah. So next, let's go to. So how many of you know what's a postman? Just raise your hand. Who all knew know postman already? Raise your hands. Okay, no issues. Okay, so see, Postman is a API testing tool. Okay, so to test APIs, you use Postman. Okay, Postman. So how does the Postman? So this is a Postman tool which I have logged in. Let me do one thing. I will start from first so that you all know. So if you just type Postman, it will take you to the this online page, where you can go click on sign in. If you're new, you can sign up. It's free tool. Okay, no need to worry that. So just sign in. Okay, so as soon as you sign into Postman, you will get this dashboard here where you can start working on testing the APIs. So how or even creating new APIs. Okay, so let's see how it happens. Okay, so for example, if I go to the workspace, I can create a new workspace if I want. Okay, but let's say I already have few workspaces here. So I'll go to one which I have. And when I go to workspace, let's say API network is my workspace. I click on my workspace. Just in the workspace, I'm clicking on my workspace. And there will be collections, environments, history, flows, like that. Some options will be there. Now click on collections. Now let's say if you're working on some new API, okay, you can click on new and what method that API or sampler it is using, you can use that specific this. So for in our case, generally APIs, REST APIs and all will be HTTP. Okay. If I click on HTTP, this will open. Okay. So now I can actually hit the APIs from here. Okay, directly. So for example, now I already have a AI API here. So this is for basically this API. What it does is when I send a question to the AI, it will give me a response. Okay, this API is for that. Now, what is an API? We will see soon. Okay, so now, but the thing that I'm going to show now is if I get some postman collection like this. So from the developer as a performance tester, what you will get is this collection. Okay, so this collection you will get. So for example, let's say I'm a developer or a functional tester. I will give you a collection file. Okay. Now what you will do? You go to home. Okay, and then you go to your workspace. Click on this plus symbol here and sorry, click on this import here. Okay, click on import and drop that file that you got from your development team here. Okay, and just you can import. Once you import, you will see that collection here. Like for example, this Jmeter is a collection, AI testing is a different collection, right? All these are collections. Okay, now so once the collection is in, you will see all the APIs which the developer has created under that collection like this. Okay, and now once you have it, what you can do is you can just test if it is working. So how do I test? So this is the API that I have. To hit this API, right? To send the request to this API, I need to click send here. So automatically you will get the response. You can see 200 okay, how much time it took, what's the size of the response, again response headers, response body, right? All these things you will see. Similarly here in this API you can see the body, right? Body is this in the raw format. The headers you can see if any parameters you can see that here. So all those things you can see in the postman. Okay, so now it's working. You get the 200. Okay, now in case if something is wrong, right? For example, let's say if I remove this. Okay, I remove that from the body, and if I click send. Okay, so basically what it has done is without that API itself, it has triggered because we are using the parameter here, right? So API version in the name. See if you can see GPT 4.1. Let me change something else. Okay, in the body. Maybe I will change this role. Role is important, and also I'll change the temperature. For temperature, it might take some default values. Okay, so okay, let's try. Yeah, able to see bad request now, all of you.
Yes.
right? So this way you can test an API. Now to understand what is an API very quickly, let me quickly explain you what's an API. Okay.
Actually, sorry, Vishnu sir, why we came to Postman? Actually, I got a call, so I disconnected.
No,
So,
we are seeing how to bring API from Postman to Jmeter.
okay, okay,
Okay, when you are doing API testing.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now currently we are seeing API testing. Okay, that is the API performance testing when you want to do how to do it. Okay, using let's say Postman as a interface for APIs. So yeah, my question to now all of you is why am I using Postman for API? Any guess? Can't I use a browser for that?
Because
No, you
APIs
cannot
were built. Mhm.
parameterize everything, put the values and everything.
Yeah. So see, browser is for front-end interfaces and all. You cannot hit an API using a browser. You need a tool like Postman or Fiddler to do that, right? That's why we are, because we don't have, for example, let's say in Chrome, when I click a button, some API will get triggered. That is fine, right? But without that button, how do I hit an API? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Hello, all of you?
Vishnu, when you're clicking on a button, so at that time the API will get hit, correct? No?
For example, I have a button called give me response. Okay. So what user will do, user will click this, right? Actually, when user is clicking, that API is getting hit in the background. Okay. But if you don't have this button, how will you hit the API in browser? Not that straightforward, not that easy,
Right,
right?
right.
So that's why we need Postman.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. So now let's try to understand what's a API. Okay. But before we understand API, we need to understand something called a distributed system architecture. Okay. Then understanding API will be far more easier. Um, so how many of you know what is a distributed system? Can someone say what's a distributed system?
The load get distributed.
No. That is distributed testing. I'm speaking about distributed system architecture.
I think
Including
multiple systems integrating with each other.
Hmm. So see, in the distributed systems, we have some things called microservices. Okay, microservices are there, and their APIs are very widely used. So with this system, we will try to understand what actually is an API, why we need an API. Okay, so explain. So okay, I'll explain. Let's see. I have an e-commerce store. Okay, I have an e-commerce store, Amazon.com. So 10 years back, flashback. Deepika is a developer. Okay. Akash, let's say a developer. Murtuza is there, who is a developer. And let's say we have Simple also, who is a developer. 4 people are there. Now, for all 4 of them, they are working on this application. Okay. So they are writing codes and merging their codes with each other and all those things is happening. Let's say Matuza and is working on order code, okay, ordering part. Akash is working on the login code. Deepika is working on the launch code, not the nuclear launch, but the launch of the application, okay, launch code. And Simple is working on the payments. Now my question to all of you is, this is imagine 15 years back, okay. Can Martuza start writing order code before Deepika finishes launch code and login code? Akash finishes before 15 years, okay? Not now.
No,
No,
No.
right? They will have to wait, right? They will have to wait for um, uh, for the previous people to finish the code, right? Because, for example, in ordering, they will need which user is logged in. So that detail they will have to get before the ordering can be completed, right? Some code we need to write. So obviously the login code has to be completed. And similarly, launch code has to be completed. So there's a dependency between each other. Okay. So what they thought is, now Deepika is working on the launch code. Okay. And Simple is working on, let's say, the, or let's say Akash is working on the login code. So what people thought is, let Akash start his work, let Deepika start her work together, right? They don't need to wait for each other. Now, if that has to happen, there has to be one standard communication that is happening between these two codes, right? So let's say the launch code is, let's say, some 1,000 lines, long code. Okay. This is the launch, which Deepika is writing. Let's say login code is there, which is of, let's say, 500 lines, which is a login. Now, obviously, if I have to complete the login code, I need to merge the code with this launch code, right? That continuity should be there. Connection should be there. So what people thought is, now does this login code need everything from launch, or it needs only some specific things? What do you think? So when I say, so
Specific.
for writing the
Specific
login
thing.
code, do I need everything that uh, in the launch code is there? I need everything, or I need only specific things?
Specific things
Specific.
like
Specific
username,
things, right?
password.
And also people found out that these specific things actually can be defined before they start developing. Let's say before they start developing the launch code, I can actually find out what are those specific things the login will need before the launch code itself is. Because, say, for example, so what is that specific things, right? Let's say I want to give a login button, okay, on the home page. Now, from the launch code, I will know, let's say, actually launch and login might not have much of a dependency. They're little bit independent. Okay, let's do one thing. Instead of launch, no, I will make it login. And instead of login, I'll make it order. Okay. Now they have a very critical connection. So if I have to place an order, okay. Now instead of this login, I will say this code as accounts code. Okay, accounts. Like login, log out, registration, all is handled by this code. Okay. User, basically user details. So to place an order, what details the order code will need from accounts?
The user details.
Yeah. So which user is logged in? The logged in user. Maybe if that user has stored the address, that if the user has stored the mobile number, that if the user has stored some credit card details, that these details it needs. Now to get these details, does the order fellow need the whole code, or only this detail? If he gets, he's okay.
Only these details.
Only these details, right? So what I will do? What this guy will do? Let's say the person who is going to work on the log accounts code, he will say the structure in which you will get these details will be like this. Okay, some structure they defined. Okay, now only thing what the order guy has to do is to interpret this structure in his code and write his code. Clear till here? So username, let's say address, phone number. So this structure, accounts guy gave, okay, I will follow this structure. Order guy also said, okay, I will use this structure. Now, can the order code be written?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So this structure, people gave the name JSON. Okay, let's say it's a JSON structure. Okay. So when I say give, now this accounts guy said I will give. Order guy said, okay, I will use. But what is this give and take, right? So this thing, people named it API. Application Programming Interface, right? So any code you write, that code will give a set of details, share a set of details, take a set of details through APIs. So now everyone became independent. They can work on their code simultaneously because there was no dependency between each other. Only thing is that structure. Each of them know, right? They will use it. Now my question is, okay, so when I say I will give this, order knows, accounts knows, but my code is not ready, right? Is this question coming to everyone? My code isn't ready. So how will accounts guy give this in real time? Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
They can mock.
Yeah. So they will create a mock. Mock means the standard format, no? They will temporarily say /API/accounts. They will create a mock. Mock is temporary. Temporary means code is not there. So what this mock does, no? You send something, you get something. Standard. That's all. No processing and all. If you send A, you'll get B. Okay. So with that, they will create the code. Okay. And once the real thing is ready, they will replace this mock with the real. Clear, all of you? How APIs help the development?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Vishnu sir, if you want, I can share one real example in our organization
yeah, sure, sure.
for
Go ahead.
APN.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, like as I'm working for Ministry of Health. So we have various ministries here, like Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Interior, in which we have the police and everything, then Ministry of Education, etc. So now all the ministries they decided to have one common portal where they will host the APIs related to their systems. For example, if I am in a Ministry of Health, if a student gets an admission in a school, he has to, certify for some health or some test, some health criteria. So they will pull, the Ministry of Education will pull the student health records from the Ministry of Health. So they have created one API forum and API gateway where all the APIs from all the ministries are connecting and then they are interchanging the information among each other. So in this way, it is useful. Like
Yeah. So see, for what Mathuda is saying, no, I'll explain you through little pictorially. Let's say there is Ministry of Health, okay, and there is Ministry of Education. Okay, now let's say Ministry of Education wants a data of all the healthy, let's say, just I'm assuming healthy students, okay, above age 18, just hypothetical, okay. So this Ministry of Health would have exposed an API, okay, using which Ministry of Education can just call that API. So what this Ministry of Education will do, no? So whatever Ministry of Education, health.com, ministryoфhealth.com slash healthy slash student equal to, or maybe student, and then some filter, okay, ID is equal to 11. Okay, they will hit this API and they will get the response. So whatever that health related, right? What we need, some JSON response you will get. Now this, what this Ministry of Education developer will do, he will extract this and write an HTML code to, let's say, or whatever he needs to do with that data. He will do PHP code or HTML code or Java code. He will write, and then he will showcase it in front of the user using HTML. Are you getting, all of you, how the APIs are used?
Yes.
So my question is, So does Ministry of Education need to know what is a code which Ministry of Health has done?
No.
No, right? Only this JSON I need structure. What all Ministry of Health will give me. But what all the Ministry of Health is doing to generate that data, I don't need to know. And I don't have access also. Are you getting all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, just raise your hands who all understood what's an API. Because I still have little silence, so I want to know before I proceed. Just raise your hands. Okay. So all of you are clear about API. Now, very quick. So this actually is used in some distributed systems also. So what is a distributed system is, instead of having all code like accounts code, order code in one specific system, they split it, okay, into services. So let's say I have the front end interface, and then I have all the back end interface services. Like I have the accounts, I have the catalog, I have the orders, I have the payment. So basically order code will be in this service, payment code will be this, catalog will be in this, account will be in this, and account might be created on Java account code. Account basically that service is running on Java code. Might be MySQL DB. Catalog might be, let's say, Go programming, okay, which they have created it. And DB might be, let's say, DynamoDB. Let's say order team is very good at PHP, let's say, and they are using let's say Oracle DB, okay, and maybe they are using some other service like SQS and SNS. So and payment, let's say they want to create on Java again, MySQL DB. So this way they have the whole independence of creating their own set of code in whatever language or whatever technology they want, whatever architecture they want. Okay. Now my question to all of you is, then how will they all communicate with each other? Because one is Java, one is Go. So they need a common language to communicate. What is that?
API, XML, JSON.
Through APIs, right? So they will communicate through internal APIs with each other. Whatever they need from each guy, whatever order needs from accounts, what so that way they will
Can we relate Odoo platform to this?
Odoo, see, the microservices are everywhere. Even in our case also, we will be seeing one example, right? So that will be microservice based in Kubernetes. Generally, the Kubernetes applications are most of the time microservices.
Okay.
Okay. And so these services, right, which are independent from each other, we call it microservices.
Like you see, why Kubernetes is needed, because every environment is different. One is Java, one is Golang. So to maintain that
Yeah,
environment, we need Kubernetes.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And also, see, ultimately, this payment might be needing 5 CPUs, okay, to run. Order might be needing 4 CPUs or maybe 40 CPUs to run. Catalog might be needing 10 CPUs to run. That is also different. So each will have a different CPUs also sometimes. I mean, like different systems altogether. In Kubernetes world, we call it pod. Okay, pod. We will speak when we go to Kubernetes. We'll speak about pods. But when we for now, simply understand they will have the resources also separate. Clear, all of you?
And can we correlate legacy versus the service architecture to waterfall versus agile?
No, no, no. That is totally different.
Like in terms of development, right? So waterfall, like you said
Ah,
before, one after the other, one after the other, and the dependencies
okay, like that.
versus
Yeah, yeah.
agile where you can be independent and develop
You
in
can
bits and pieces.
say in a way that this type of architecture supports agile more than waterfall. Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
But waterfall also can be done. Not see, waterfall is ultimately nothing but you put. See, what is waterfall fundamentally is you don't put in production unless you have a proper thing working, right? A set of
Okay.
features. That is for waterfall, right? It's not that we wait for another, then it can be parallel work also. But
Okay.
waterfall is more about something will go in production after a set of features are complete.
Okay.
Okay, so that is waterfall. But in agile, what happens is even out of the set of, let's say, 5 features are there, even one is ready, they will put in production.
Yeah, makes
That is
sense.
agile. Okay, in a sort of development way to see it. Okay.
They
Any
will
question?
start with a base
Uh,
model, base functionality, and then they will keep on adding the more functionalities in
exactly. So
agile.
we call it MVP first. Okay, first they will create something called a minimum viable product. Okay, and then over to that they will keep adding features. That is agile. But waterfall is they will properly finish one set of user flows, epics and all, and then they will put in production. So every 3 months or every 4 months it will go in production. But nowadays waiting 3 months, 4 months is based on competition and the technological demand and all. It's no companies are generally following that. Okay, 2 weeks, 3 weeks itself is actually high nowadays. Okay, so yeah, so agile is the most common nowadays. Okay, right. Any questions, anyone? Till now?
No.
Okay. So if someone asks you what's a microservice, what will you answer? Explain what's a microservice. Anyone?
Microservices are in some individual services to perform certain tasks, and then in combination, they
Mhm.
all will together achieve one common goal, one common task.
Actually, when Martuda said this, I remember that three idiots dialogue. कहना क्या चाहते हो? Like detailed answer. Very good. 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 Like very technical. In layman terms, Murtuza, come on.
So Vishnu, in my point of view, microservices is combination of APIs. At code
Mhm.
level, it is independent, but at some extent, it is correlated with each other. Uh, in it is also kind of API, and just difference is APIs can be different JVMs, but
Mhm.
the microservices in terms of UI will be one JVM.
Yeah, don't go to
Okay,
JVM
I will
and
explain in layman now. I will
yeah,
explain very layman term. Like we have
yeah,
a
yeah.
cricket team. In a cricket team, I need a bowler, I need a batsman, I need a fielder. So to achieve one common task of playing cricket.
Yeah, again, I feel like Amir Khan. You know Hindi, no? Murtuza, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
all North Indian languages.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, got it. I hope you have seen this 3 days movie also, which I said.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So anyways, so see, simple, okay? Simply you can define a microservice. Microservices are basically independent, we can say, group of um, features or independent services, okay, which communicate with each other using uh, a common interface like APIs, right? Simple. Okay, so this way you can answer it. Automatically, all the keywords will come there, like interface, right? Communicating through interface, then independent service, which is very important because that is what creates microservices a unique, or that is what gives microservices a unique ability that it's independent from each other, right? Okay, now coming to API. So now when you get an API, you will get a postman collection, mostly. Okay, you might get a swagger also. Swagger is also one type of what we can say way of sharing APIs. Okay, but Swagger files are little complicated. Postmans are better. So whenever you ask your developers or a functional tester who is providing you, ask for a Postman collection. more it's very good to have that. Okay, not Swagger. Swagger you have to create like it's little. I mean, like some extra hard work is there to work with Swagger files. Ask for Postman collection. Okay, that will be easier. And when I say, see, who will share, I'm always saying functional tester and developer. Why I'm saying functional tester? Any idea? Anyone? Why functional testers will share it with us?
because to cover the functionality,
Logic
end-to-end
verifications.
flow.
Yeah, right. So see, why you need a developer to explain the flow to you or a functionality to you? You can communicate with functional testers who have more time compared to developers. Getting hold of developers and making them waste time with you over a call. Maybe they are busy people, right? So development, they might not be having that much time, right? So catch hold of functional testers. They make a good relationship with them, right? So they will be available for you always, right? Over a call, and it's very useful also. So as a performance tester, always create a good repo with the functional testers, okay, because they will be really helpful for all our queries and all, okay, more than developers, right? And also second thing is, as a performance tester we need a functionally tested um transaction or non-functionally I mean, like before functionally tested, when we will do the performance test.
Can you repeat question, Vishnu?
Yeah. So see, let's say you have a transaction. So will you test it before a functional tester has tested it or after?
After.
Before.
Exactly,
Before.
right? So that is again a reason why you can go to a functional tester, right? To solve any issues because they would have already tested it. Okay, right. So now let's see how we can use Postman collection, what you got from your developer to basically uh, pull it into Jmeter, right? So how you can use Postman API, how you can pull it into Jmeter. Very straightforward, very easy. I'll show the steps. First of all, when you get a Postman collection file, click on import. Again, I'm just saying, click files, import that Postman collection file. Maybe I will also show that. Let me see if I can export, okay, from here. Okay, so I have exported this collection. So basically you will get a file like this. Okay, if I go to click files, I'll go to downloads, I'll get a file like this, collection.json. Okay, from the development team. So click on that, click open. Now in my case already the collection is there. So maybe I'll import as a copy. Okay, let's say. So see, this gets imported. Whatever requests are also there, it will be visible in that. Okay. So let's say like that I have imported this one. Okay, this collection I got from the development team and I have imported and I have just clicked on send and I have tested. It's working fine. It's saying 200 okay. Okay, and also the response is okay. I'm getting properly. Okay, so let me do one thing. I'll just quickly
One
reduce.
question here.
Yeah,
Actually, this is about what practice we should follow. Like, if I am given any API testing or performance
right.
testing for
Yes,
API, should
correct.
we get the JSON from the developers only, or we should prepare it ourselves? What
No,
should
no.
be a better?
Take the JSON, the collection from your functional tester or the development team. Don't I mean, like, see, building also they might ask you to do, but it's a little headache. Okay, they can easily give you the Postman collection which they have already. Okay, so ask
Okay.
them the Postman collection. Yeah, because they will also have the collection. Okay, it's not that you are asking something they have to create for you. They already have it.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time. Okay. Right. So now it's working and we are getting the response and all. So now how do I pull this into JMeter? Again, very easy. So what you need to do is uh, just click on this code snippet option here. And here, just change it to any guess what option it would be?
JMX.
Curly.
Curl,
Curl.
right? Yeah. So we will get a curl. Okay. Whatever we need. So just not PHP curl, just normal curl you copy. maybe I guess with the latest update, directly this might not work. Okay, but let's see real quick. Then what I'll do, I'll just go to tools, import from URL, paste the curl. Okay, it worked. Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, because there was a recent update happened. Now, so our request is now here. Now let's try to hit and see whether it's working.
Vishnu, could you explain again those steps? Actually, your voice was breaking in between.
Sure. I'll explain. Yes, so we are getting the response. Actually, this is an AI API. Okay, let me show you how it works. So this is my data here, right? As a parameter. What I'll do is I'll change the question. Okay, explain Jmeter in maximum 50 words. Okay, and let's see thread group. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you see, this is my request that I send, as you can clearly see, with that question, explain JMeter in 50 words. Now, if I go to response data, I can clearly see this is a JSON response that I got, API response. API response will not be an HTML response. Is that clear to all? Because especially this is a REST API, right? There are SOAP API and all different API, but in SOAP and all you get an XML request response, but here you will get a JSON response, right? You don't get an HTML sort of code. Okay, so here if you see, this is the answer it gave. Able to see?
Yes.
Right? So yeah, so that's how you can easily pull in an API which you get from the development team into Jmeter. Again, I'll show you the steps. Go to your postman, import the collection, go to the collection, send it and see if it is working. Because if it's not working, don't pull it into Jmeter. First of all, it has to work. Okay, so make it work. Let's say the corrections, they might say change it in the body, some header they might change to say change some or some parameter they might say to change. You can do it, okay, with their help, not that hard. And then after it works, you get a 200 okay, and the response is also okay. Click on this code symbol here. Click on that, and here you can actually see a lot of options. Okay, out of that, at the top, choose curl, CURL. Okay, curl, normal curl, no PHP curl, nothing else, just curl. Okay, you will get that API code in curl. Copy it by this copy snippet option at the top. Copy it. Now go to Jmeter. Go to, let's say I add a new code here. Okay, just click on new. Then go to tools, import from URL, paste it, whatever you copied, right? And click create test plan. So this successfully created. That message should come, and automatically your requests are now in your Jmeter. Clear all of you? That easy it is.
Yes.
Now after this, you might have to do the correlation, parameterization, and all those things as needed. Because sometimes you won't have only one API. You might have multiple APIs. Getting what I'm trying to say? Hello? For example, let's say I have a login API. Now after login, I might have a add to cart API. Okay. Now, which user added the product to the cart? If my JMeter or if my application has to know, there should be some connection between login and add to cart, right? Can I say that?
Yes.
Yes.
So something might be transferred from login into add to cart request, which is showing which user actually added that product to the cart, right? So that sort of link you need to create between two APIs, login and add to cart. So that link you create using some techniques like correlation, dynamic values and all, we will see. Okay. So that also comes. It's not that only one API you will have. You might have to put 5, 6 APIs in a row and run an end-to-end test APIs, right? So that also might happen. So only this procedure you need to follow. One by one, you need to import it into JMeter and do the next steps, right? As we do for an end-to-end test. Same here also. So the procedures remain same. Now, when you're working with mobile applications and all, APIs will be widely used. Okay, not like web services. In mobile applications, APIs are widely used. You can say more. Okay, more than web service. Yeah. Any doubts, anyone? Anything you want? Any questions? Quickly.
Vishnu, only we can import like one, no? Like as you said earlier, like only one script we can execute in
Exactly.
JMeter.
Yeah.
So how multiple we can
One
import?
after another. So one I added. Again, go to tools, import from URL, paste it. See, second one came, no? Like that, how many other APIs I can add? And normally, like we run the test, no? Starting from login, then add to cart, checkout, registration. Like that, it will keep running loop one after another. Getting simple?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, Vishnu, one question. Web services versus API, I know you have used them interchangeably. So my assumption is web service are those like independently developed services
No,
which
no, no, no,
communicate
no.
via API. No?
That is microservices.
Okay,
Okay. Web services are websites, no? Which we have. For websites, we use the word web services.
okay. So
Yeah.
basically these
So,
BFF APIs,
oh,
those.
by mistake, I used web services. Huh? Maybe new to all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So web services are nothing but the applications. Those are like websites. No, we have through our browser that we access. Mobile applications we call. So basically, to differentiate both, we say web services and mobile app.
Okay,
We don't say websites because website is little common. No, in mobile also you can open, right? So
okay, okay.
yeah, that's why we say web services and which is purely web based, right? Like
Okay,
using
like desktop versus mobile kind of.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so so that's how you work with the APIs, and in APIs you need to be really careful about the again the response time. Same things, the story will repeat, right? Whatever you do for the web service, now the story will be same for both. And when you monitor an API, there is some differences when you analyze, monitor in the background compared to the web request. Because what happens, no, sometimes uh, now this question is for everyone, okay? If I'm doing a login transaction, okay, in my browser, in the background, can it happen that that login transaction is hitting two APIs? Can it happen? So
Yes.
in my web service button, I am clicking login. Okay, but in the background, let's say two APIs are getting hit. One is going to one, let's say, doing some activity. The other one is doing one another activity, but both has to happen when the login is clicked. Can it happen like that?
Yes.
Yes, it can
Yes.
happen. That is why we have different testing for APIs and different testing for the browser-based testing or apps. Because when you do transactional level testing, you might be hitting multiple APIs in the background. Okay, and it will be visible in your monitoring tool that you are hitting multiple APIs. But in your JMeter, you will get a combined value. The split of these two APIs response time you will get only in the monitoring tool. That also if it is configured properly. Otherwise, you might not get. Okay, so that is why you do a API testing separately to get the API performance for each APIs in JMeter. Are you getting all of you? What I'm trying to say?
No, I didn't get.
Okay. So let's say I have a form. Okay, I am submitting that form. Okay, I'm clicking on the submit. So when you click on submit, let's say two APIs get triggered. One will go to, let's say, Ministry of Health. One will go to, let's say, Ministry of Education. Okay. So when you see in JMeter, okay, this API, right? API 1 took, let's say, 1 second. API 2 took 2 seconds. So in JMeter, maybe you might see 2 seconds response time. Okay. But do you know the split? Do you know the split? When I test from here, pin drop silence. As
Sorry,
if
once again question.
No.
I'm feeling like I'm meditating. Okay, so see, I have pressed on the submit button. So that triggered two APIs. Okay, one API went went to Ministry of Health post request. One API went to Ministry of Education post request. So the Ministry of Education API took 2 seconds. Ministry of Health API took 1 second. After both are processed properly, then I get a response back here. So total, my JMeter showed 2 seconds. But this 2 seconds that I got in JMeter, is it of the submit button or these APIs?
APIs.
Submit complete transaction.
So submit button, right?
Submit.
Actually for this time, but how much did these APIs individually contributed? I don't know. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So that for that I will have to test this API separately in JMeter.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so that is how the API testing and web service testing, end-to-end testing will be split. So both you will do actually. When there is APIs in the backend background, you will test APIs also. You will try to optimize the APIs also, because ultimately, if you optimize API, will my button time reduce?
Yes.
Yes, right. So both you will do, right? It's not that only button you will try to optimize. You will leave the APIs which are there in the background. You will try to do the API testing also. You'll try to see how much response time is coming, how you can try to optimize it, reduce it. Because maybe out of these two APIs, this guy is the culprit, which I need to solve. So, but unnecessarily, I should not blame this guy, no. So I need to have that justification. I need to test it separately. Then only I will know who is the real culprit and which I need to solve, so that this submit button response time comes down to 1 second. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think in the first we will test the APIs. So
Yeah.
if we tune the APIs and it's working fine,
Mhm.
then do we really need to do the submit like end-to-end testing, because anyways it will go to the APIs only.
Wow, awesome question. Okay, awesome question. But the thing is, API is just your backend. Okay, but the submit button, when you hit no, you have, let's say, CDN, you have, let's say, load balancer, you have the server sometimes, then the backend comes. So what about these layers? Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Load balancer, I got it, but what kind of server we will like,
See,
as we
now
are directly.
APIs, see, for
Mhm.
example, APIs don't need a web server. For example, they
Okay.
need an
Mhm.
API server. Okay. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah,
like
got it. Yeah.
that will be full backend, you can say. Just assume like that. So it's not at all, even your web server, app server itself might be like it's overriding those. Directly you're hitting the backend.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay. So that's why. Now, but question is really good in another direction. Okay. So generally API testing is done first. That is exactly true. API testing is done first, and that is where an approach called shift left in Agile comes. So Agile methodology, as I said, it's a development methodology. In that there is a shift left approach. Okay. So what happens in shift left is, see, there are various environments in development, right? Dev environment, int environment, perf environment, pre-prod, prod, right? Various environments. What are environments? Nothing. So each environment is for some specific activity. Development for dev for development, in for functional testing, per for performance testing, pre-prod for some activities like testing before it goes to production, like chaos engineering and all, right? And production, obviously the live. We say production. Live application, we call it production environment. Okay. So assume it this way that production is on different CPU, pre-prod is on different CPU, perf is on different CPU, int is on and dev is on different CPUs. Okay. Production might be 10 CPUs, performance might be 5 CPUs, pre-prod might be, let's say, 5 CPUs, int might be one CPU, very small environment, dev might be one CPU, very small environment, right? So this way it will be. Okay. And every environment code will be same. Okay. Only thing is services might be different. Okay. So in int environment, you might have real services. Real services means, like, for example, let's say there is a payment gateway in your application, like Razorpay. Okay, Razorpay is a payment gateway. If I keep the real payment gateway in performance environment, what will happen? What will happen?
Unrealistic times.
You will use that credit card, then that your stakeholder will become a beggar.
Balance will be gone.
Okay,
Yes.
so by just one test, you might spend millions. Okay, so that's why you will not have real services. It will be mock in perf environment. Mock means it's those services won't be there, which are third party, right? Like payment and all, which is given by a different organization, not related to your application. But in int, it will be there because they have to test the credit card and all. No? So they might keep it the real service, but they will also restrict. They will get a test credit card and all using which they can test. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. So different environments. Now, uh, oh, where was I when I started environment? Shift left. Okay, so what do we mean by shift left is, now this perf environment is very important for us. Why? Why perf environment is important for us as a performance tester?
Because it will have all the resources like similar to our production,
So this
simulating.
so this is our home as a performance tester, right? Perf environment is our home. We are not touching any other environments. It's not ours. Perf environment is ours, right? And exactly as Martuza said, it is similar to production. The resources, right? The CPU, the RAM, the disk, and all, they will keep similar to production. Not exactly. If it is 10, 50 percentage of production, they will keep. Okay. They'll spend some money on it. Because ultimately, if you want to keep resources like CPU and all, you have to spend money, right? So for perf environment, they do that. Okay. They keep enough resources because you want to test for that much load. No. So you need resources. But other environments, it will be one CPU they will give. Okay. Okay. Now the main question. Um, so how is this environment actually splitted in terms of like, so for example, if I want to, I'm hitting an API, okay, or I am hitting a login request. If I want to send this login request to dev environment, and if I want to send this login request to perf environment, code is same. Okay, code, there is no difference. The API structure, API definition, everything is same. So can anyone guess what changes so that the direction changes? To which CPU it has to go? What will change?
The IP, the URL, the configuration.
Exactly, right? So
Correct.
Host.
each environment will have a different URL. Like let's say dev.am.com/login for dev, perf.am.com for /login for perf. So like that. Similarly, production, you will have directly am.com because it's a live. So this way, by just changing the URL, that host, you can change the environment in which you are going to hit the code. So based on this host, it will use the resource. So it's more sort of if I run this Chrome in my laptop, it will use my laptop CPU or my friend's laptop CPU.
Yeah, you have to.
Mine, right? So if I hit this request to perf environment, the perf environment related CPUs that I have configured will be used, that resources. Okay, similarly dev, then dev related environment CPUs, these resources won't be used because it's in a different environment, right? Now comes the main critical part. So what is shift left? So shift left is API testing, right? You do in dev environment. That is shift left. So as a performance tester, what you do now, you create a Jmeter script for these APIs for dev environment and you test it. You won't test it with 100 users, which you will have to, which is your, let's say, user count for perf. You will test it with maybe 5 users. That's all. But what is the use of this shift left testing is, by testing in dev environment, is to catch any API issues before it goes to perf. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So you won't do a performance test in dev environment. You will do only an API testing sort of small load, 5 user load in the dev environment, so that you can catch if any issue happening in the dev environment itself, some major issues like the code level issues. Getting all of
So
you?
it won't be a functional test. It will be a load test in the
Yeah,
environment,
JMeter.
dev environment.
JMeter only. Multiple users.
Okay. So how much, like if it is functionally correct, but
Uh,
so you wanted to test five, you are able to handle 5 users
so you
in dev
compare.
environment?
There is a baseline and there is a
Uh-huh.
performance test. So previously baseline value you will have 1 second it was taking. Now it is taking 1.5 second. It's same 5 user. So there is some problem.
Okay.
Like that you compare, right? Previous and now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot do a performance test there because you're not in perf environment. But you have
Right.
to compare and find out if there is a degradation. Previous and after,
Yeah,
right? So
I
this,
have a doubt.
yeah.
Yeah, so for example, this is like API, right? So, what in the web UI also will be the same thing. Like we can like do the shift left for an entire UI in dev.
No, no,
And
no. Because in dev, entire you don't have, no. You have bits and pieces.
okay, this
Yeah.
applies only for the API testing, not the web UI. That will
No,
be
no.
done
Because
only in the
web in dev environment, web won't be there, no. Because order guy is creating order, login guy is creating login. You won't. Everything will be separate. It's not integrated yet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't get actually the shift left. What is that?
So this process we call it shift left in agile. Now, why we call it shift left is simple. This is right direction, right? This is how the flow happens. First development will happen, then functional testing will happen, performance testing will happen, pre-prod testing will happen, and go to production. This is right. So what people said is let's shift left also. So performance environment, let it happen little early in the dev. That is shift left. So simple. What they thought is don't let performance testers sit and relax. Let them start early. Okay. Let's give some extra load to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard shift left, but it's only used for the performance testing or like,
No, you're pretty much correct because this shift left is more used in performance because functional guys anyways cannot do, they don't use dev. Okay, they will use int only. So generally for performance, but functional also can be. I mean, like I'm not ignoring the fact that some organization can do, but performance is widely done. And we call
Okay.
it with a different name also. Shift left is the approach, right? What we are
yeah.
following. But what we do is early performance testing.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
call it that early performance testing. That's the name for that part of performance testing. And in the perf environment that we do, we say it end-to-end performance testing. Okay, yeah. Okay, right. So we can stop it here for today. I'm not going too much ahead now. Almost time. I'll take some questions now, or else we can stop.
Yeah, I have some real time this environment related
Ah,
issues will always pop up. So
okay.
in we actually have it like known as SIT here.
Uh-huh.
So this is not like we won't be connecting with any third party. So it will be an application which is like the services won't be the same, like the CPU won't be the same as perf, but the SIT will be the fully developed version with the developers give. So when we go about this shift left, they actually ask the UI to be done in the int or SIT whatever, because the code is same, and then
Yeah.
you can take it to the perf. So is this should we follow this, because this is currently they are requesting us to do, so or should we wait till the code is finally like put forth in perf?
So you are saying shift left, they are asking you to do in perf itself, is it?
No, they are
No?
asking to do it in int. Int we don't
Uh-huh.
have any third party, so it's not like very secure details are not there. So
Okay.
for us that
You can do,
issue is
yeah,
not there.
you can do in
Oh,
int also, but take care that no real third-party services are there, right? That is one thing. And do it with very low load. For example, if perf you are running with 100 users, int you run with only 5 users. That ratio you maintain. Okay. And
okay.
third thing is int you have the UI already integrated.
Yeah, yeah. UI is
Yeah,
integrated.
then maybe test directly with UI also. You can do that, not issue. Because one good thing is if your if your data is same, no, in perf and int, I mean like your DB, right? Just by changing the URL, you can have that same script for perf environment also.
Yeah, the DB changes, but just the code. Like DB
Ah,
will be different, the test data, everything will
okay,
be the different.
okay.
But just that scripting
Yeah, that's
time,
good
they
only because once you parameterize your script, no, you can just change the URL and test data. You will have basically you create the script for int, it will work in perf also.
okay, fine. I
Yeah.
get it.
Okay, right. So yeah, and just a general feedback. Whatever we saw till now, um, anyone having any specific concern like speed? Because concepts, don't worry, we are still moving, right? We have a lot of sessions remaining. Slowly, things will become clear. Especially not JMeter related, parameterization and all. Obviously, if you have any question, you have to ask me. But let's say some CDN and such things, right? Some little advanced things. Okay, fine. Don't worry about that. But any other concerns like maybe speed or something you are not understanding, some terminologies, anything like that? Anyone? Just to correct myself, okay, in that direction might help. Okay, happy to see that all are
Just
understanding.
share
Yeah.
that, like we discussed before, that sample non-functional requirements and all like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have put in the chat. Anita will share the link. Okay. I don't know why it took this much days. Generally, it used to happen in the. Anyways, no, you are not lost anything because we have not seen that or started using those files yet much. But yeah, anyways, I have put it in the chat. Okay. No worries. You'll get it. Yeah. Okay. Right. So we'll stop it here for today and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a good day. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.